Alright, hello party people. I'm going to try to get through this one before my coffee gets cold because, well, I want to go watch my friends over on Discord and Dragons at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, as happens every Monday on Use the Unix channels, Rumble, YouTube, Entropy, Odyssey, I think. One of those, anyway. But I just want to say that I have 9 pages of notes and I hate no human being as much as I do James Gunn right now. Now, that will pass because I don't like to hold onto my hates, but yeah. Anyway, getting into this. First things first, and this is one of the few things that I will praise about this movie. That's not it. Sorry. This is. The opening throwback, Fleischer-inspired intro to the DC Studios logo. Absolutely loved it. And that's about probably the only thing I'm going to say that I absolutely loved about this movie. So, 3 weeks ago, Superman stopped the country of Bravia from invading Jahanpur, sparking controversy around the world. Yeah, this is the intro that we get. It's lowering lines of text over and over. Fuck. And of course, yeah, this is, not my crypto. And one piece of trivia, Nathan Fillion plays one of the Green Lanterns in this. There is only one Green Lantern, but he plays one of the Green Lanterns who is not the one he should have played. But I will say, props to him for stealing a fucking power ring and taking it home with him. Well, I assume stole. He probably actually got permission to take it, but he wore it to the premiere of the movie, so aces for that. Anyway, Crypto acts like a fucking dickhead. But before we get to that, one thing I do want to say that did please me, in that extended intro kind of stacked exposition block, set of blocks, they covered the origin story of Superman, which pretty much everyone knows at this point anyway. Aces. That was good. A lot of the praise is going to be early, so I will warn you now. Another thing too. They did use John Williams' score quite a lot in this. Good. That definitely gets you bonus points. Let's see. Yeah, it opens with the... the thing I wanted to point out as well, the Baravia thing. Edging towards the Injustice Justice Lord's storylines a bit more than you probably should have there, Jimmy. And yeah, I will be referring to James Gunn as Jimmy quite a lot through this. Let's see. Yeah, it opens with the trailer footage. I still have many issues with Crypto, not the least of which is his apparent intelligence. I will point out also, Crypto should be a white Labrador, not whatever rescue creature James Gunn decided to use. And that will be thoroughly relevant throughout this movie and throughout this review. Here's a question. Where does that go when it's not in use? That's the Fortress of Solitude, coming up out of the... I'll get to it. But it's coming up out of the ice. Out of the ice. Ice. That will be important later. Believe me, and I do apologize, I'm clicking my pen because... yeah. Needless to say, I did not enjoy this film. Let's see. Okay. Great casting. Alan Tudyk. Yeah. Alan Tudyk, good cast. Yeah. I've been staring at screens for far too many hours at this point. So my eyes hurt. Okay. The fact that he says golly. Yes. Perfect. That shows that you understand the character. Which also becomes very important later because it shows how much he hates the character. Ugh. Yeah, the rest of this movie goes on to show how much James Gunn really probably hates this character. What did I have here? Oh, yeah. Superman he might be, but he has a badly behaved dog, and that costs him respect points. Yeah. Also, the dog turning out not to be his, which is an open secret and not much of a spoiler at this point. The dog turning out not to be his does not excuse the fact that it disobeys him. I'm sorry, if the dog is left in your care and you don't train it to do as you expect it to, no, I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, I apparently lost an image somewhere. The opening credit is very similar to the Donner style film credits, where they have this kind of phasing in. You know what I mean if you've seen the Donners. Anyway, I will say this much. This certainly captures the modern spectator zeitgeist very well. I'm thinking James Gunn just doesn't like people. Also, Miss Tessmacher. I approve of putting her in the movie. Not what you do with her. Oh, sorry, I had them backwards. So this is the Donner style opening that I was talking about. I approve very much of Gunn showing his influences. However, I will point out the way that he treats this material kind of makes me question if he's really trying to honor the previous material. Let's see. Oh, this is the Hammer of Barovia, or Baravia. Barovia. Yeah. Turns out to be Ultraman in a metal suit. Yeah. I did write down thinking with portals, because I'm a nerd that way. And then, of course, I asked the question, where do they go? And we do find that out later. And it's unique enough, I suppose. The extremely hostile dynamic these two have in this scene and other scenes. I get that it's meant to be cover, a smokescreen, but no. They just come off as petulant children at each other. And I pointed out Gunn not understanding the Lois Lane Clark Kent dynamic is a key failing of this film. Rivalry among professionals doesn't need to be dipped in assholery. These two are supposed to be lovers. Excuse me. But their initial on-screen interaction is extremely vitriolic. That is not Ultraman. I don't care how many times you try to tell me that's Ultraman. That's not Ultraman. And that becomes very clear later. Let me see here. Is it this one? Here we are. The Sokovia Accord gambit gets played. We'll start here. So we're going to lock up all metahumans now. Look, other metahumans aren't going off half-cocked, interfering in foreign affairs. With a hidden headquarters in Antarctica. Now, I am extremely pissed off about this particular one. Antarctica? Okay. Wrong. Superman and Santa Claus are neighbors for a reason. And you can't tell me otherwise. Also, they talk about how the Fortress of Solitude disappears into the ice in one scene. Into the ice. Antarctica is actually an island. There is ground under there. The Arctic, no, that's 100% ice. Yeah. But okay, go ahead and break the canon all you want, Jimmy. I'm sure it won't turn out bad for you. Let's see. And the Sokovia Accord Gambit, yeah. Let's see. Changing canon is a form of blasphemy as far as I'm concerned. It's not just breaking it, it's disrespecting it completely. Number 14, this one. this scene was jarring. The fact that she comes home and he's in her kitchen making her food. After that initial interaction, it's too late to make them seem like lovers and very loving to each other, because you've already established they have a very antagonistic relationship earlier on in the film. And yeah, it's only a scene earlier, but it's still going to be jarring to do it this way. If you had done something earlier where they had interacted and said, hey, you know, we have to get back to pretending to hate each other. Better. Not great, but still better. Let's see here. Yeah, more canon breaking. Then there was Lois's interview. Yeah. Let's see. Lois's interview with Superman was supposed to be before they were together, and his introduction to the world. In the comics, in the canon. With Gunn's timeline, that Superman has been known for 3 years, and that Clark is the one who interviews him all the time. It's only ever been Clark at this point. It evidences that he has very little journalistic integrity. Superman has very little journalistic integrity. It's very deconstructed. In fact, it's a fallen version of Superman, as far as I'm concerned. Superman is supposed to represent a conviction to higher ideals, higher standards. Gunn has either injected his own despise, his own hatred for journalists, or failed to understand the source material, or possibly both. And I'm kind of leaning more that he just despises journalists. I think he understands the source material, and I think he intentionally parodied it in a very venomous fashion. Is this 15? This is 15. Talking about how he had stopped that war. I told them it wasn't right. Literally the words of Kamala Harris talking about Ukraine and Russia. Good job. Well done. Way to make it escapist entertainment, you fucking clip. Yeah, this is Justice Lord's Injustice Superman. Gunn should be ashamed. Yeah. He literally kidnapped and Lois says tortured. I don't necessarily think so. But there is a degree of torture there. I didn't think so when I wrote the note. But he kidnapped and threatened a head of state. Yeah, that's absolutely Superman behavior. Injustice fucking Superman. Fuck you, Jimmy. The next one is, he pitches a fit. Superman child. Yeah, it's literally, this is every terrible stereotype about millennials rolled into one character. I will say there is one very tiny moment of redemption where Superman says, people were going to die. Okay, that's Superman. He's concerned that people might die. However, Superman is slightly more paternalistic. Quite often, he lets humans make mistakes because, as he has said himself, he's not a god. He shouldn't act like one. You know, like Injustice Superman or the Justice Lord Superman. Yeah. He feels sorry for himself quite a lot. Yeah. Oh, dear God, yeah. I believe I've got an image for that. No, I don't. Okay. But yeah, Lois says that he pouts when he doesn't get his way. So he's not just a Superman child. He's a soy person. Soy per man child. Yeah. At this point, I did say that Tessmacher might be my favorite character in the film, given how well adapted she seems to be. And that's influence from the Donners again. Turned out I was wrong. And very, very wrong. The message from Clark's parents is corrupted. This was actually an unintentional grab here. But I did have a prediction that Ultraman, this fella, was Bizarro / Doomsday / Superboy. Yeah, we'll come back to that. The message from Clark's parents was also corrupted, and it talks about that in the trailer footage, and you see the clipping of the image of the images during the trailer. Yeah, my other prediction was that Luthor was going to fix and or manipulate the image. So we'll call the fix 1.1 prediction and the manipulate 1.2, and we'll call the Ultraman Superboy thing prediction 2, and you'll understand why I'm putting those numbers on them shortly. I will say this. The fact that there is no flinching whatsoever from Luthor, that's good. The downside of it is because it's obvious that all of this is CGI. Yeah, there are actually a couple of points here where you can see the light, the sparks, would have to be passing through him. And I kind of caught that a little bit in this area here. Yeah. So it's not a well-crafted movie either. In fact, there's a really bad piece of movie making later. And I did write, no flinch, badass Luthor, I like it. Holt is a far better Lex than Eisenberg. I will absolutely stand by that. Nicholas Holt did a great job as Lex Luthor. Or at least a far better job than Rosenberg did. Eisenberg, sorry. Jesse Eisenberg. One thing I did say, though, and I did see it in the trivia for the film, Luthor here is played much more Michael Rosenbaum-esque by Holt, and part of that is because Corn Sweat and Holt both grew up watching Smallville, so it's nice to see at least that influence comes through. Though, yeah, I did say he's got a bit more of an edge. He's basically the Kylo Ren version of Lex Luthor. Yeah, it gets like that later. Yeah. I honestly hope this kills the dog. I half expect Gunn to do a super wick. I was half right. Sort of. Kind of. This doesn't kill the dog. We'll leave it at that. I find the engineer an absolutely fascinating concept. I absolutely do. The way that this is played as bloodstream nanites, I like it. I really do. But there are times when it just gets played wrong, let's say. And the physics in this movie is questionable at best. Let's see, what else did I say here? Number 22. Prediction number 1.1 confirmed. Lex does in fact fix the footage. Well, technically it's the engineer who fixes it, but you get my point. And then the next thing I said was cute. I want one. Yes, I do want one. This is a baby kaiju. A baby fire-breathing kaiju. Yeah, that, once it gets big, reminds me very much of Starro from the Suicide Squad. Yeah. Sorry, from the Suicide Squad movie. Yeah, just to make sure you understand which title I'm actually talking about. I didn't really appreciate this. There are Snyder levels of needless property damage committed by Clark. All of this here is a trail of underground damage he's doing, getting out from under. I forget if they called this thing Giganto or not. Gigantic kaiju, basically. I called this Snyder levels of needless property damage, and I think Gunn made a parody. This is where I started to come to the conclusion that Gunn had in fact made a hateful parody of Superman rather than an actual, honest Superman movie. Let's see. Oh, there is a Jitters call out. So that's from the Flash CW series. I appreciate that. I will point out here as well, I didn't realize it initially, but this forms a J and an L, which in any other decent movie would have meant Justice League. Apparently, this is the logo for Lord Corp, Max Lord's company, that the Justice Gang... Did you hear the click? The Justice Gang is working for. Yeah, they're the corporate superheroes. I don't know if you remember the comic books years ago, but they had a group called the, if I recall correctly, the Conglomerate, which was essentially, yeah, same. This just looks like trash. Also, I did point out that... oh, yeah, I did say, oh good, maybe some real heroes, though I fucking doubt it. Yeah. Number 27 is... Yeah, asshole Gardner still wore the Lantern uniform. Even as much of an asshole as Guy Gardner was, he still wore a traditional, more or less, Green Lantern uniform. Gunn is just parodying a superhero movie. Probably why he didn't veto... Yeah. Apparently Nathan Fillion fought for that haircut because he said that... how did he put it in the trivia? If we don't do the bowl cut, we're going to hear about it. Nathan appears to have forgotten, or not ever have known, Guy Gardner went through a significant evolution in the comics. This isn't the Guy Gardner that got one-punched by Batman in, like, Justice League International number 2. Yeah, this is not that Guy Gardner. Or, rather, this is that Guy Gardner. That isn't the Guy Gardner that we have currently. Or even had 5 years later. Dear gods. Let's see. The Justice Gang. Yeah, fuck my life. Apparently, too, according to Fillion, he based this character slightly on Sophia Petrillo from the Golden Girls. Sophia was a fucking kind old lady. She just had no time for anybody's bullshit. Yeah, this isn't that. Oh, Mr. Science sneers at compassionate and intellectually curious Superman. Yeah. This is not Mr. Terrific by any means. This is nothing heroic. He's just doing a job, basically. Oh, yeah. Save the little girl, by all means, but ignore the others in danger. Kind of makes his whole people are going to die outrage earlier ring hollow. Yeah. Yeah, what you don't see in this particular shot, and I don't believe I have it in the next shot, do I? No, I don't. Okay, I'll come back to it. But what you don't see in the next shot is the, we'll call it collateral damage that's resulting from this. From him, now, granted, protected the little girl, good. Didn't protect the other people around it, though. Which, yeah, people are going to die, huh? Yeah, this is the point where I realized he was just completely parodying Superman. Definitely parody. Unfortunately, I think Cornsweat was trying to play it sincere. I honestly do. I think Cornsweat honestly tried to play a sincere Superman here and got fucked. I think he really got fucked by James Gunn. He got roped in to what ended up being a very non-sincere Superman movie. And that's unfortunate, because deconstructing Superman is the one superhero that should never be deconstructed. He should be the ideal. The shining light, the example, the Boy Scout. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this. That's a squirrel. Yeah, he went out of his way to save one fucking squirrel and let this happen. Yeah, you see this guy? This guy's inside of a store. These are those same tubes from earlier, those tanks, flying through a window after he saved the girl. Yeah. Yep. One fucking squirrel after letting that happen. Yep. I did say I liked the X-ray effect, the X-ray vision effect. Somewhat. It's, and again, very Snyder. So it strikes me that all James Gunn really wanted to do was make a Snyder-Donner crossover movie. And make it insult both of them. Let's see. Oh, Prediction 1.2. Prediction 1.2 was confirmed. Sorry, I had an addendum to my prediction 1.2 that he would somehow use it to manipulate public opinion if he didn't manipulate the footage itself. The fact that he didn't manipulate the footage, and this is actually true, yeah, that's not good either. Oh, sorry, no, I did say prediction 1.2 was not confirmed, because my prediction was that Luther would alter the footage, manipulate the footage in some fashion. He didn't. Sorry, it's been a long day. Does the Pentagon seriously brand all their shit? Anybody who's ever been in the Pentagon, maybe one of the unsubscribed guys watches this, let me know. Because I cannot, for the life of me, believe that the Pentagon would brand anything. That strikes me as a massive security breach. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, and I did say this must be an alternate reality. I think it is pre-Injustice Superman, to be honest. It feels like it. Or a slow burn Injustice, maybe. I don't know for sure, though. Let's see. Oh, Suicidal Robot. Yeah, Suicidal Robot. That makes sense. Robot trying to stab his own brain out. Yeah, because he failed Superman. Subtext. Interpreted. Sure, but why else would it be doing that? Let's see, what are we looking at here? Yeah, fitting given this film is making me lose the will to live also. Yeah. Oh, another question too. Why is there a Phillips screwdriver in the fucking Fortress of Solitude? I'm sorry. What the fuck does Superman need a fucking Phillips head screwdriver for? And don't dare say, oh, putting in Phillips head screws. Really? No shit. He couldn't do that with his fingernails? Or, have some sort of other tool that could mimic or, change to fit whatever screws he needed? You're going to try and convince me that Superman shops at Home Hardware? Fuck off. Yeah. The dog. That bothered me. Now, granted, we do come to understand later that it isn't technically his dog. But still, the dog. I think, depending on how long it was a foster case, which they do call it later, at a certain point, I would still take ownership of it, and it would still be my dog. Where the fuck is my dog? Yeah. The dog, Luther. You took the dog. Starting to wonder if Gunn even loves his dog, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's more of a foster situation is what he's talking about here. He talks about the dog. So the footage being real means nothing, and Gunn hates Superman. Yeah. The dialogue in this scene is so fucking banal. Also, this is a dimensional imp. Most people theorize that this is probably something Mr. Mitsipitalik is doing. Sure, possibly. Even so, Superman's response to that, they've got it. Really? Okay. This is 39. Yeah, the dialogue is so fucking banal. Oh, and talking about the dog. Yeah, he's not even a very good one. Really? That's on you, asshole. Bad dogs are a reflection of their masters. That's the note I made there. Yeah. Or guardians, whichever term you want to use. Theory is that this is Mr. Mixospitalik, the dimensional imp thing. Even so, Superman not taking it seriously is further destruction. Yeah, it's not even deconstruction at this point. It's destruction of the character. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm left to reach only the possible conclusion that Gunn hates Superman. I've got to speed up a little bit. Let's see here. Oh, no rights for extraterrestrials might be the single most based part of this movie. Yeah, I'm there with it. Also, I absolutely love that this is Rick Flag Sr. And it's, oh god, I can never remember the actor's name, but I'm glad it's him. Metamorpho looked great. What else did I say here? Oh yeah, Pocket Universe, cool. Styx imagery, double cool. I actually really did approve of how this was all played. Yeah. Teschmacher as a crazy is saddening. Draining all the sentiment out of the material makes it seem like he hates Superman and superheroes by extension. Yeah. I cannot express this one. I cannot express how sad Nathan Fillion finally playing a live-action Green Lantern that isn't Hal Jordan makes me. Yeah, this is such a waste. Such a good actor. Such a potentially great character. Even Gardner. But it's just, it's played for... It's played from a place of disgust and hate. The coffee's still warm. Let's see. Number 47. What the fuck are those guys doing? Oh, you can't see them. What the hell? Oh, okay. I guess I overdid it with my browser. Let's move that back out. There we go. Yeah, what the fuck are these guys doing out here? I'm guessing you guys probably missed a few images, but I'm sure nothing important, unfortunately. But yeah, what the fuck are those guys doing up there? They cleaning the Hall of Justice? Okay. Let's see. 48A and B. You have a flying saucer. And you couldn't get a faster garage door. Lame joke falls flatter than a pancake. Actually, no, that's not fair. Pancakes are fairly thick. It falls flatter than a crepe. Oh, yeah, and Mr. Terrific is fairly violent with those T-spheres. This guy is definitely dead. Because, you know, what we all want is our superheroes to kill people. Oh, but they're bad people, so it's okay. No, it's not. God. I'm thinking James Gunn just hates people. Because here we've got two people who are imprisoned. And this one starts screaming for the guards because Metamorpho is helping Superman get out after being the instrument of his confinement. And this guy starts yelling too, and this one starts screaming, no, you're not going to take credit for this. This is one of Luthor's ex-girlfriends, apparently. It's the only response I can muster. Metamorpho doing a sun is fucking cool. Yeah, this is Metamorpho doing as close to a sun as he can manage. I'm sorry, that's fucking cool. That is an extension of Metamorpho's powers that shows the Gun does actually understand the source material and understands its potential implications, and yet still hates superheroes. Was Gunn maybe planted by Marvel to make the DC movies look like shite? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Must never allow genuine, uninterrupted moments of tension. That might create stakes. Yeah. And apparently Metamorpho had a baby I didn't know about. That might actually be from the comics. Let's see, where are we? This would be much more of a sweet moment and a much more impactful moment. A great way to show how much they care about each other if she wasn't girl bossing the fuck out of it. Or more accurately, if Superman wasn't girl boss worshipping her. Yeah. Luthor being needlessly cruel, why? Yeah, Gunn doesn't even love his villains. This is just Luthor being petulant, petty, and cruel to people who work for him for no good reason. It's a badly written Lex Luthor. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. James Gunn taking lessons from J.J. Abrams does not surprise me. This is absolutely needless lens flare. Yeah. It might be genuine lens flare. But even so, if you were trying not to look like J.J. Abrams, CGI that shit out. Or reshoot it so you don't have it. I will say this much. It does seem like James Gunn understands how much a dog can be a loving creature. I'll give him that, because this is a genuinely wonderful shot. So we'll let that linger, because the rest of the movie is not praiseworthy. Yeah, that's Superman catching a building. That's falling apart already. No, seriously, he cut the whole building at this angle, and it didn't collapse. I told you the physics in this movie was terrible. Oh, speaking of terrible physics, Superman has his lungs filled up with these nanites from the engineer, and he starts flying straight upwards. And I'm thinking, okay, he's heading for the sun, because it'll burn the nanites off. Would also kill the engineer who's attached to him, and potentially Ultraman, though we haven't had that reveal yet. And he stops about here. At this point, he's actually starting to turn over and turn himself back towards the Earth. At that point, I think, oh, okay, so it's going to be re-entry that burns off the nanites and burns them out of... It's the speed. Yeah, they were going too fast. They were going too fast for the engineer to control her own nanites. No, I'm not fucking joking. They were going too fast. Yeah. It wasn't the impact when they hit the ground. It wasn't... oh yeah, here's the Ultraman reveal. Go figure. It's also a bit of a Darth Vader cave moment. Which is basically how it looks to be played, and I think James Gunn really badly wants to make a Star Wars movie. He shouldn't. Not after... I'm sorry. Even if he loves Star Wars, and legitimately loves Star Wars, after what he's done to this, he should never be allowed anywhere near that franchise. Oh, yeah. Bizarro confirmed. Bit of a Vader's Cave reveal. Yeah, kind of appreciated this. And actually, Corn Sweat looks really good here, to the point where I could see him playing, other than the fact that he appears a little bit lazy-eyed, I could see him playing any number of a bunch of different characters who aren't Superman. Also, Bizarro. Definitely Bizarro, definitely not Superboy. Though it's the Superboy creation method. Oh, look, I fucked up a clone. Well, okay, that's more Bizarro, to be fair. Got about 10 minutes left here. Yeah, I can probably manage it. Let's see. Gunn clearly likes asshole Guy Gardner a fair bit more than he likes Superman. Yes, that is a giant green hand giving the middle finger as it flips a tank. For Guy Gardner, in that period, fitting. Yeah, this is where Hawkgirl drops the president of Barovia to his death, which I called a murder well before the film came out, and I maintain that position. When she says, I'm not like Superman, you might as well be talking about the whole goddamn movie, sweetheart. Yeah, I maintain that this is murder. The movie started with condemnation of extrajudicial interference by superheroes. Gunn really just made an incoherent film for the sake of what? Grinding a personal axe or two about journalists and comic book tropes? Really casts Guardians of the Galaxy movies in a whole new light, doesn't it? If not for Kevin Feige, Disney's Guardians movies would have been as incoherent as this. And that's saying something. Yeah. And yeah, speaking for pretty much the whole goddamn movie there, sweetheart. Yeah, the dog was the hero the whole time. Really? James Gunn spent a minimum $225 million to make his dog, a fucking rescue dog, by the way, a superhero movie star. I'll give him this. He suckered the studio like a fucking champion. Yeah. Oh, and, oh look, more dead people. Because this is Superman doing Death Blossom from The Last Starfighter. Yeah. Those people hit the ground and they stay pretty fucking limp when they land. Yeah. I got very, very unhappy with this. You can fly, asshole. How does anyone get the leverage for an armbar on you? The fact that he dislocates his own shoulder to power over Ultraman into a falling piece of debris so he gets carried through the black hole. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's beside the point. You can fucking fly. If you can fly, no one should be able to get the leverage on you to apply an armbar. An armbar requires gravity. If you can beat gravity, you can beat an armbar. You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball. Sorry. I get scared. If you prick me, do I not? This is the worst Shakespearean monologue adaptation I've ever fucking seen. And it's in a superhero movie. Superhero movies should be slightly Shakespearean anyway, but not like this. Shitty Shakespeare sucks. Sorry, what did I say here? Sucks almost as much as calling your dog dude. Yeah, repeatedly he calls the dog dude. Let's see. I will say this much for him. At least James Gunn is good to his brother. And Sean, you're out of a job the minute James is, I think. And it's not because you're a bad actor. I actually really like you. But dear fuck, you are not going to have a job the minute Jim is out of fucking favor. Because they won't hire you because of the connection. Which is a real shame. And yeah, later on down the line here, Rick Flag Sr. is the only character I want to see again. And probably my favorite character of the movie. This is the guy who basically says to Superman, yeah, you're an extraterrestrial. The courts have decided you don't have rights. I'm good with that. I'm very good with that. Oh, this is painfully awkward. And Gunn apparently cast them for their chemistry together. He intentionally casted the two actors together as well as for each individual role. Makes sense. However, apparently to be as non-sexually compatible as possible, regardless of what happens later. It's just terrible. This is the example of really shitty filmmaking I mentioned earlier. Oh, I didn't actually oh yeah, I did. Nice, it's over. Wobbly wire work and all. Yeah, as they're being raised, there's a wobble in the wire and you see them kind of jitter. Fuck. You know you are allowed to reshoot things when they get fucked up, right, Jimmy? Speaking of fucked up, this whole sequence should have been in the post-credits. Oh, dear God, should have. This is where Kara, Supergirl, shows up after partying off-world at Red Sun Planets. If she was partying at Red Sun Planets, how the fuck did she fly home? It's because she wanted to be able to get drunk. Yeah, nice. Just keep on deconstructing those superheroes there, Jimmy. What's this one? Oh, yes. Completely fucking ruined by James Gunn. Couldn't help myself. Had to do it. And this is my last piece here. As you can see, looking at the crack in the wall behind them, or past them, I suppose, when the rift closed, it kind of came slightly out of alignment. And, yeah, Superman points out, yeah, it's just a little off. Mr. Terrific pitches an absolute fit. What am I supposed to do? Pull it apart and put it back together again? Why are your fucking superheroes throwing childish bitch fits, Jim? Anyway. So, that's my review. And that was the fucking perfect capper to this movie. Was that him pitching an absolute bitch fit. I have never been happier to do this. You want a recommendation? My recommendation is don't watch this fucking movie. At all. Out of 10, give it a 3. Because there are some good moments in it. Literally, 3. It is some of the most anti-superhero movie I've ever seen. It's so bad. Anyway, I'll get this posted as fast as I can. I've got about 5 minutes to make it to Discordant Dragons, so you guys won't have had an opportunity to watch it by then. So, if you appreciate what I do, please do, support me in the ways in the description and the ticker. Deeply appreciate it. As always, of course, my big thanks to Simon JJ and the Meringue crew, which really kind of encompasses everybody who has purchased anything from me or sent me a payment, helped me out in any way in the past. Other than that, I'm so glad that's over. I will, ironically, next week I'm going to do Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story. Yeah. Because, not that I'm a glutton for punishment, it's because I need a fucking palate cleanser. I can't believe how bad this was. This was... You ever watch my Moon Knight stuff? Yeah, I hate this far more than I ever hated Moon Knight. In fact, if I was given the choice between watching this again and watching Moon Knight 5 times in a row, I'd watch Moon Knight. In any case, folks. Rant over. In any case, folks, I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye. Hello, party people. So, you've probably just finished watching one of my videos, and I appreciate your time. That said, if you're watching on YouTube, because they've changed the way they evaluate their views, I need to ask a favor. You need to commit some form of engagement in order for me to have it count as a view, because for some reason YouTube no longer thinks watching something counts as a view. They need some form of engagement to prove you actually watched it. So, like, comment, follow, share, subscribe. Any of those things would be appreciated. Other than that, if you want to support me, and this would help me with endeavors across all the platforms I do my content creation on, you can look at Ko-Fi, which is right there in the ticker right at the moment, or you can go over to my Redbubble and pick up some merchandise there. The designs that have been flashing on screen for a while are examples of the designs that I have. You can pick these up on a variety of different products, and yeah, I'll probably end up leaving them up. Though, from time to time, I will put up something that will be time limited. Some of the designs, the Walrus King especially, for example, I intend to leave up all the time because I just love that, and my Ardent Plays logo is for my other Rumble channel. Other than that, I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.